I will figure out OBS if it kills me. Hello, everyone. How we doing? Sorry about that. It's supposed to not be muted when I transition it over. Anyways, hi. Tonight we're going to be playing, or not playing, but making a character. We're going to be making a character for Legend of the Five Rings. I'll be making this character, but Legend of the Five Rings is a fantasy take on feudal Japan. It's in the land of Rokugan and the Emerald Empire, which has lasted for 1,000 years. At the back of the book says, as a samurai of the Emerald Empire, your duty lies in service to your lord, your clan, and your emperor. Will you stay true to your duty no matter what sacrifices it demands of you, or will you hold true to your own code of honor even to the point of death? Now, I'm not super familiar with this character creation system. However, I have made a couple characters in the past, and I really like it because it has this system called the 20 questions. And I really find that really cool. And you basically go through it and answer these questions, and these answering of these questions derives your stats. So, first things first, let me get my character sheet. I've already named my character. His name is Haratu. I looked at Japanese names, and apparently this name means firefly. So, before we start, though, we have starting values. Ratings of 1 in each ring. So, that's earth, air, fire, water, and void. Now, this game does something innovative in that the rings are things, ideas, more or less. The void deals with things on a more spiritual level. Fire deals with things passionately. Water deals with adaptability. Air deals with things of artistry and mental acuity. And Earth, let's see, let me just double check so I don't give you false information. Earth is patience and calm, being level-headed. So again, you start with one of each of these. You start with 0 ranks in each skill. Your honor, glory, and status are determined in different questions. Endurance, composure, focus, and vigilance are all calculated later. So the first question is, what clan does your character belong to? Well, I really like the Lion clan for this. I want to go with something a little bit more physical. And the Lions are really into the idea of honor, courage, and duty. It's head of the militaries, master tacticians, proud family, a very proud family, and a society of very proud families. It says here that fear means nothing to lion samurai. The threat of death only serves to embolden them and bolster their courage. Okay, so the derived stats that you get from being a lion are, I get +1 to my water, so my water is a 2. I get +1 to tactics, and if you look down in skills, tactics is right here, so I'm going to put 1 rank into that, and my status is 35. Now, again, the status raises and falls in game depending on your actions, so that's kind of cool. Now, past that, you go on to question 2, and this is kind of like where, okay, so for those of you that might know Changeling the Dreaming, clan is kind of like house, and then you have your family, which I guess in a small sense, if you're really familiar with that, would be like banner houses that are like smaller houses within the overarching clan. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but it does help. It does give you further stats. I've already kind of looked at this, and I really like the Kitsu family. The Kitsu family are heavily into ancestor veneration. And it says, all samurai venerate their ancestors, but the Kitsu bloodline, which mingled with otherworldly beings, produces members who can part the veil to speak with them. Now, that might seem weird considering I want to make something, so physical, but I kind of want to make a black sheep of his family, someone who is trying to distinguish himself in spite of what his family is known for. So we'll put Kitsu here. Ooh, it'd help if I could spell, huh? Okay, so Ring increase. The Kitsu family can give you +1 void or +1 water. I'm going to put this into water because I really like the idea of him being highly adaptable and a little different than the rest of his family. But he is still Kitsu, so he gets +1 to meditation, and he gets +1 to theology, which, just considering his upbringing, just natural inclination. Let's see, my glory is 40, and we can delve into that should we start to play. And I also have a wealth of 4 koku. I'm not sure where to put that on the sheet, but I'll find a spot. I'm sure it's somewhere around here. I love form fillable sheets, guys. I don't know about you. Okay, so 4 koku right there. Bam. Okay, so that's step 2. Okay, so step 3 is where you pick your role in your school. So roles are kind of like an overarching concept, so you kind of know the general idea of what your character does. You have bushi, who are warriors, guards, instructors by trade. Courtiers, who are politicians, emissaries, and civil servants. Artisans are creators, advisors, engineers, etc. Shugenja are priests of the samurai caste who share a special bond with kami, spirits. You also have monks, which kind of exist aside from their clan and society, but it's just a monastic order. And then you also have shinobi, which are like assassins and people that exist without honor, but they are kind of a necessary part of society to keep things running, I suppose. So that's where I'm going to use Fields of Victory, which is the essential guide to warfare, and it's kind of like the Lion Clan book for the new edition. And there was a new school that I liked in here that I really wanted to do, because I thought it was kind of like this cool bridge between that spiritual side of his ancestor veneration, but also something really martial. And it is the Matsu Beastmaster School. Now, the Matsu family is part of the Lion Clan. You can, within your clan, go to any school without really any question. If you wanted to go to a school outside of your clan, you'd have to get GM approval. So he didn't go to his family's schools for ancestor veneration, that spirituality, but he really fell in line with this idea of these Beastmasters. And I think maybe he probably has a Matsu cousin who put in a good word for him, or maybe even an uncle or his mother, who knows. But he has some connection to the Matsu family that would help him get into the school, in my mind at least. So, you have all kinds of things to choose from here. So let me just fill in this data right here. Matsu Beastmaster. School rank would be rank 1. And my roles for this are Bushi, which is like the more martial thing that I was kind of going for. Okay, so I add to my rings here, I add 1 to fire, so bringing that up to a 2. And I add 1 to water, bringing his adaptability. I can talk tonight, everyone. I mean, assuming so. I mean, I think you can still hear me. I don't know. OBS is out to get me. And then I have 5 skills that I can choose from for my starting skills. 1 is fitness. I think that makes a lot of sense. And there's 7 skills in here, and I choose 5 of them. Let's see. I think I'll choose martial arts melee, because I kind of see him fighting with a sword. I'll add another to meditation. That seems like right in line with like his family values. And then sentiment. Now, I'm not sure what sentiment is, but if we go to the book, we can find out. Let me just find skills in here. Index. There we go. $144. Huh. Because I like sentiment, or I like the sound of it, but I don't know if it's right for him. Culture, government, medicine, sentiment. Okay, so the sentiment skill reflects a character's ability to understand the psychology and emotion of others. It is used to spot emotions like hostility and fear in others, to empathize. Yeah, I actually think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so sentiment is 1. So I've chosen fitness, martial arts, meditation, and sentiment. And I think for my 5th one, I'm going to go with survival, which is in trade skills. Cool. So my honor starts at 45. And let's see, so the techniques available to me are kata, rituals, and shuji. Those go into like the powers and everything. I start with Warrior's Resolve kata, and I'll find that for you in just a minute as soon as I put this in my sheet. Weapons, armor. Okay, so I can do kata, rituals, and shuji. And then I also start with 2 shuji, which are Coursing March Chant, Righteous Example, and Sensational Distraction. So I need to find out what those do. And I'll look up Warrior's Resolve as well. So we go back to the index. Kata, 174. Warrior's Resolve. It lets me remove fatigue equal to my honor rank. So there's a beautiful flavor text with this. The Bushi draws a deep breath, exhaling as they rise to their feet. Pain can be conquered as long as there is a duty to be done. Honor is stronger than steel, it is said, and it falls to the samurai to prove it. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, so kata, kiho. It's all in the same section. These are Kiho, Kiho, Kiho. I can't do those, so they don't matter today. Earth invocations, fire indications. We're getting there. Water. Rituals, Shuji. Okay, so I do have Shuji, so I can choose between Coursing March Chant, Righteous Example, and Sensational Distraction. So let's find these. I imagine they're probably in water, or some of them are. Huh, that's really strange. I can't find them. This is the fun part of character creation when things get confusing, right? Okay, so sensational distraction. Let's see. It's it keys off the fire ring. When interacting with other characters, the target treats their vigilance as 1 lower per. It has a symbol in here which goes into the dice rolls for Legend of the Five Rings. Until the end of the scene, when that advantage applies to a check, the target may reroll up to 3 dice instead of 2. That's really cool, but I don't know if that's what I want. Coursing March Chant. I don't know why I can't find this. It's a little weird, right? Righteous Example. These are technically in alphabetical order. I just don't know why they're not here in the book. Huh. Well, that is very confusing. Unless they're in this book, which would make sense, and I have completely lost my freaking mind, which probably makes the most sense, considering I'm using a source book that has something in bold. I am never claimed to be smart, friends. Let's see. Righteous example. A leader's power exists only in the minds of their followers, yet none can deny the power of an army. In Rokugani warfare, leaders and even commanders often take the field themselves at the start of battle, showing that they shoulder a portion of the risk alongside their warriors. I don't know if that's quite him yet. Let's find coursing March 10th. This is a water Suji, so this is probably much more in line with what I want. Okay, so marching is as old as armies, and some methods have changed little across 1,000 years. An army marching on extra rations with a rousing chant or musicians to keep its pace will fare far better in the long run than one that marches on silence of empty stomachs. See, I'm not going to take this one. If I had taken this one, I probably should have put a skill in performance, but I didn't. So, it looks like it's going to be righteous example and sensational distraction. So let's just go back to that. So sensational distraction was fire. And that was a shuji. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's weird. I hate that. And if I'm mispronouncing that word, I do apologize. Can't spell either. Okay, so what did I decide? I was going to do sensational distraction and righteous example. Righteous example being fire. Which is interesting considering I chose so much water. Just checking some little things here. What's going on? Getting notifications. Not really worried. Okay, so righteous example. Just fix my typing here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so my starting advantage, and I'll clean this sheet up before I post it too, guys, is the animal bond on page 111 of the core rulebook. So we go to my advantages here. Animal bond. It's based out of Earth. It's interpersonal and mental, which is the type, like just giving a key off the types. The following apply to character with the animal bond passion. So it's a specific passion that he has. Reciprocating your interest, a small mundane animal of some kind has attached itself to you. Choose one silhouette, 0 or 1 animal. It follows you around wherever you go and generally acts as your companion. It can be cajoled to do what you want, but it might need incentives, usually food, to perform difficult tasks on demand. If you are granted an animal as part of your starting outfit, that animal can be your companion regardless of the usual size restrictions. So cool, I have an animal companion, which makes sense for a Beastmaster. After performing a check to interact with an animal, such as a medicine earth check to mend its injuries or a survival earth check to calm it, you remove 3 strife. So cool, I have this animal. Now, there is a sidebar in here where it talks about the bonded animal. So it says, a pair of large dogs, see page 326 of the core, is the most common bonded choice of bonded animals of the Matsu Beastmaster. However, at the GM's discretion, your character can have a different bonded animal, in which case you may select one animal with a, there's a little symbol here for what it means, 6 or lower, such as a hunting cat. I kind of like the idea of a hunting cat. If you choose a animal with that little symbol 3 or lower, you may have a pair of such animals as your bonded animals instead, and your school and master abilities apply to each one individually, as does the animal bond advantages. Okay, so okay, school abilities, that would be animal bond, I suppose, is what goes in there. $326. Okay, so animal bond. Oh, okay, that actually doesn't go there, because I have something else that goes there. It's one with the pride, which is my school abilities. Where does this go? Where would I put this? Titles, Nihogiri, oh. I guess it goes in here. Cool, okay. So on back to the second page with my school ability. One with the pride. Increase each of your bonded animals' endurance, composure, and ranks, and martial skill group by an amount equal to your school rank. So right now it would be 1. Its school rank still cannot exceed 5. If a bonded animal is a minion, it becomes an adversary instead. So that's something that comes later. So I have starting equipment, Ashigaru armor. So I will find out what that means when I'm dealing with equipment, but let's make a note of it here. Ashigaru armor. Let's see. Traveling clothes. Ooh, do we have any questions from the audience right now? Are we all doing good? Are we having fun? Are we laughing at me ramble to myself weirdly? Because that's okay too. Back to my sheet. Here we go. So travel clothes. So I have Daisho, which is a katana, and wakizashi. So let's just put that there. Katana. Ooh, that's tiny. I hope that gets bigger. There we go. Wakizashi. That is Zanbato or Nagayari. See page 88. Okay, so a Nagayari is a straight-headed spear. And then a Nagamaki is favored by entropy, is a single-edged blade with a significantly lengthened hilt. The blade varies in length. The hilt of this weapon is known for being almost as long as the blade. Well, I already have the katana, and I'm assuming the other thing's kind of like a dagger. Let's see. I'm going to go with the Nagamaki. I like this idea. I see it as being a very close combat fighter. I have a Yoroidoshi, which is again on page 88. It's a Tanto blade worn at the belt, so it's kind of like a dagger. Cool. Lots of weapons. I'm not used to making such a combaty character. This is fun. And guys, when I post this sheet up on the blog, I'll have like stats for all the weapons and everything as well. So that will all be in here. Then I have bonded animals and a traveling pack. So we already made a note of my animal up above in my passions, and I haven't decided on a name for the cat yet. Okay. Now I also get, let's see. I think on rank 1, just to make sure I understand this perfectly clearly, in your school you have certain things that you get past that, or that might be experience. Okay, so in the book you'll see the school curriculum table and mastery ability. So what it says here is the rest of the school write-up consists of a curriculum advancement table. This is organized into ranks, each with a number of advancements listed: skills, skill groups, techniques, technique groups. There's this little symbol, denotes privileged access to techniques or groups. As you use experience points to purchase these advancements, you increase your character's rank in their school, which makes their school ability more powerful. At rank 6, you gain a powerful and unique mastery as well. So to get to rank 2, I have to buy all the things that are in my rank 1 ability. So I have to buy advanced martial skills, command, culture, survival. I have to get a rank 1 kata. I have to get a technique called Lightning Raid and an ability called Beseech Senjo's Empathy. And if you're looking in the books, unlike me, be smart and realize that the bolded ability are abilities new to the source book. So that's kind of something cool to look forward to. If I got losing my train of thought, if I got Haratu to rank 6, he would receive the with a soul of a lion mastery ability. So assuming he goes to rank 6, after he performed an attack action, each of my bonded animals may perform an attack action against the same target if able. If my attack action did not succeed, reduce the target number of each of your bonded animals' attack action by 2. So basically, I'd get 2 attacks at rank 6. If I failed, it would be easier for the animal to attack my target, which is really kind of cool. I like this little attack cat. That's neat. I figure he needs a cat because he's part of a lion. He's part of the lion clan. You know what I mean? Okay, so that was question 3. We still have 17 more to go. I hope we make it in time. If we go over, I apologize. Do not stay on my account. I am a lot. I'm a lot tonight. I apologize. Okay. So how does your character stand out within school? And you'll get a bonus to one of your rings on this. So if I see him as being more creative, passionate, or driven, I can add 1 to fire. If he's graceful, eloquent, or empathetic, I'd give him a +1 to my air. If he's more adaptable, friendly, or aware, he'd go to water. My water's really high, so I'm probably not going to do that. If he has thoroughness, patience, or calm, to earth. If there's self-awareness, insight, or mysticism, it'd go to void. So I'm kind of torn between fire and void. Let's see. So let's read further. For fire, your character is recognized by their teachers and peers for their inventive ideas, their sincere love of the craft of their school, or their intense and irrepressible desire to succeed in their field. Their energy and enthusiasm inspire fellow students and galvanize rivals to put forth their best as well. That seems like a really good fit for him, but I do kind of want to see what void will do. At a certain point, all arts become the study of the universe, it says. Your character is more adept at seeing things within both than most of their peers are. They might even seem to have a supernatural sense of things and to act based on hunches about what is to come in addition to possessing insight about their place in the wider universe. As much as I want to go fire, I think I'm going to go void for 2 reasons. I think him coming from a more mystical house does make him more in tune to spiritual things, as well as mechanical level. I do want him to be a little bit more well-rounded. If I was really focused on water and fire and had 1 in earth, air, and void, I feel like that would be a detriment and put him into like this pocket of only being good at very specific things, when I tend to make characters that are a little more generalist. Even if I'm going outside of my norm and making something a little bit more physical, I really, really, really like more well-rounded characters. That's a kind of a personal thing with me. So, that's question 4. Cool. Okay, so part 3, Honor and Glory. Who is your lord and what is your character's duty to them? This is starting to get into where you work with your GM to plug your character into the setting. Your samurai's lord is a figure of utmost importance in their life. You might have 2 lords. It says here, Bushi characters might be given tasks suited to bodyguards, guards, soldiers, magistrates, executioners, or generals. And then you also select I pronounce this Jiri, but it might be Giri. I'm not entirely sure. If you know the correct pronunciation, I would love to learn that. This provides characters the first of their 2 primary drives in the story. You should be able to answer the following questions in the affirmative when considering your character's Jiri and Ninjo personal feelings together. If you cannot, you should talk to your GM about selecting a different Jiri. But the question is, what are they? Oh, page 39. This is it's really funny. I was really into PDFs for a while with gaming, and I've kind of come fully back to physical books because I find it easier to make characters. Okay, so Ninjo is duty, and Giri is desire. Let's see. So some sample Giri are restore the reputation of your teacher's dojo, inventing a new weapon that will give your clan an advantage, negotiate a trade agreement with a major ally, retrieve a set of sacred artifacts for your clan. So this is where you start giving your GM plot hooks, which is really cool. Some example ninjo are found in a school, uncover lost secrets vital to combating a specific foe, discover your true parentage, become the captain of a ship. I think that for his ninjo, he wants to achieve a particular rank within his clan. And I think this is somewhat of his pride, but he's going a little outside the norm of his family. So achieving success and finding validation in that, I think, is highly, highly, highly important to him. So that is his desire, but his duty is, let's see. I think it's going to be to protect his lord. Who his lord is up for debate. That would really be best determined in an actual play. Okay, so that's number 4. I'm sorry, number 5. So now we're on to number 6. What does your character long for, and how might this impede their duty? That's the ninja. I think that he wants to become a master in his school and become powerful in that way, and I think that's how he wants to do it. What is your character's relationship with their clan? So I choose one of the two following. If your character believes firmly in the precepts of their clan and their values it holds dear, gain 5 glory based on their reputation as an upstanding member of their community. That feels right. But if your character has a fundamental disagreement with their clan's belief, policies, or practices, and has defied these in the past, gain 1 rank in a skill with which you have 0 ranks. Consider why this skill represents divergence from the clan's training or values. I think he has issues with his family, not his clan. I think he just is not quite as spiritually minded. So he actually believes firmly in what the Lion Clan represents. So he's going to get that glory. Ooh, glory. Makes me think of Werewolf the Apocalypse. What does your character think of Bushido? Now, Bushido is the samurai code. So, just so everyone is aware, in the core book, it talks about Bushido very early on. And the code of Bushido deals with compassion, courage, courtesy, duty and loyalty, honor, righteousness, and sincerity. I think that he takes Bushido very, very, very seriously. But we'll see. Again, I have 2 options to choose from. So it says, if your character's belief in living by an orthodox interpretation of Bushido is very staunch, I gain 10 honor. That sounds cool. If your character diverges from some or all common beliefs about how samurai should behave honorably, gain 1 rank in one of the following skills to reflect past behavior that was unbefitting of a samurai or deeply defied the norm. Well, that's an interesting question, because he did kind of defy his family. So in some ways, he does have problems with, which one? With duty and loyalty. Like, his clan is totally bound to, yes, but his family? Maybe not. It would be nice to have another rank and a skill, though, wouldn't it? You know what? 45 honors seems high. I think because he did kind of go against familial norms, I think he will do that. And I think maybe I will put that also in survival, making him this really cool, like, ranger type almost, and being able to survive on the land. He believes in Bushido, but his sense of duty is more broader than perhaps others are, and he chose to go against some familial duties and forge his own path. He's still very bound by honor, but he wants to do it his own way, I think. Okay, moving along. Strengths and weaknesses. What is your character's greatest accomplishment so far? So this is where you start to get into specific advantages and disadvantages. It's telling me to go to page 101 to look at specific advantages. Huh. This is cool. There's all kinds of stuff in here. But let's see. Something that, like, really makes him special. Let's see. So he is this Beastmaster, kind of like a ranger. Sorry, I'm just looking at all of these. There's so many options. Do I want to go something that's a little bit more social oriented and like play to my type? Or do I want to do something that I can't decide. You know what? Let's make him famously honest. So this is my distinctions, I think, right? No. Famously honest. Wait, where was I? Sorry about this, everyone. Okay, cool. I got this. So famously honest. So what does this mean? It's an air. It's tied to air. Other people have heard of him for his honesty, and they believe him by default unless they gain evidence to the contrary. That's really cool. When performing a check which you can leverage your reputation for telling the truth, such as a command air check to convince someone of a statement's veracity, or commerce air check to sell an item at an inflated price, I can re-roll up to 2 dice. So it doesn't behoove me to lie, but if I have to do it, I have a little bit of leeway with it. I don't think Hiroto would ever lie, though. I think that's part of the thing. Because your distinction you also want to play into. He is known for being famously honest, so he's always going to be famously honest. Cool. So what holds my character back most in life? So now I go to specific adversities on page 116. Let's see. 116. Specific adversities. All kinds of things here. I'm not seeing any in here that I really, really like, but I think there are some more in the new book, so let's see. Blessed treasures, rituals, acts of war. One second, let's go to the index here. Not the index, but the table of contents. Like that probably makes, yeah, 82. 80, 81, 82. Okay. Cool. Oh, that's neat. Ooh, actually, I might change this honesty thing. To play into his family a little bit, I'm not going to do famously honest. Because in the book, there's this new one that is guiding ancestor. And since I put that point into void and it keys off void, I think it's kind of cool that he has this ancestor kind of guiding him, telling him to do these different things. So he is still honest. I'm always going to play into that. I like that. I like that part of him. But he's watched over by a benevolent ancestor spirit, or Sorai, who has high hopes for him and his deeds. The spirit cannot communicate directly, but may send cryptic omens and dreams and strange phenomena to help him achieve a great destiny. When I make a check to interpret omens or to intuit a course of action, such as a theology void check, and I have that rank in theology, so I can potentially do it. To check guess the plans of an unknown enemy, I can reroll up to 2 dice. Cool. I like that. That's really neat. So, and I think it gives a more spiritual bent to what he is overall about, and makes this whole like animal bond he has kind of more mystical, which is kind of neat. Well, shit. I can't decide on this. God, there's a lot. Can I choose an anxiety too, or is that something... Oh no, that's something different. Okay, so I have to choose my adversity now. You know what? Let's play into that honesty thing and make it a little bit of something that gets them into trouble sometimes. Let's take bluntness. So, you have a difficulty in expressing things indirectly, and you overlook insinuations and implications in the statements of others unless they're pointed out to you directly. When I make a check to create or interpret subtext, I must choose and reroll 2 dice containing certain symbols. After resolving the check, if you failed, you gain 1 void point. I think that can play right into his honesty, whereas sometimes he's a little too honest. Okay, so let's see. That was 9 and 10. So now I choose an activity that makes me feel at peace. This is my passions, and those are on page 111, where I found the animal bond. Let's look through the core book to see if there's any passions that I like in this book before I check the other book. I almost want to take animal bond again and have them have 2 like cats, but whatever. Okay, there's one in here I kind of like, but I want to check the other source book too, because... Oh, there's no new passions in there. Okay, well then I know what my passion is. Tea. Who doesn't like tea, right? So he can identify regional variations of tea, and I know a great deal about the process and preparation and drying of leaves. In the wilderness, you can acquire the natural ingredients required to make rustic teas of various sorts of relative ease, which again kind of plays into that survival he has. I think this might be a passion he's picked up over the years, which also feels right in line with his family too, like this like veneration of ancestors and like tea services and the bonding of that all feels like something that he would have grown into. And it's kind of like he doesn't necessarily want to do what his family does, but he can't escape who he is. So after performing a check to interact with T, I can remove 3 strife. So I have various ways of removing strife, which is a thing in the game. I don't know fully about it, but that's okay. So next I pick out an anxiety. And again, that's here. There are some new ones in the source book I'm using. And all of the books have new stuff. Where are the anxieties? Specific anxieties. Well, I know one that looks really good. Let's see. Belligerent, braggart. I don't really think he's belligerent or a braggart. I do think he might have delusions of grandeur, though. Because I do think he's a little arrogant. So what this means, I believe he believes himself destined for greatness, and nothing will dissuade him from his fixation upon this goal. When you're presented a chance to advance your glory, you must attempt to pursue it. I think that's right in line with everything that he does. And I think I'm going to go long on this episode tonight. I apologize, everyone, but thank you for joining. After performing a check that requires facing your humble place in an uncaring universe, you receive 3 strife. If this is the first time this has occurred this scene, I gain a void point. Okay, so cool. So he has a guiding ancestor, he's blunt, he loves tea, and has delusions of grandeur. So he's not a bad guy, he's just arrogant. And I'm not necessarily upset about that. I think there'd be a lot for him to learn and change and develop over time. Okay, so now that was 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we're on to 13. Who is your character learned from the most during their life? So let's see. Nearly every human owes some portion of their personality, strength, and weakness to the people around them. And instructors. So in the relationships character. Okay, cool. In this section down here. Record the name of the person from whom your character has learned the most, along with the nature of the relationship, then choose one of the following options and gain the listed feature. I can gain an advantage related to your character's mentor of the relationship, or 1 disadvantage related to your character's mentor in the relationship, and 1 rank and a skill that your character developed as a result of your... Okay, so I kind of want to take an advantage. So that's going to take me down to... back to the distinctions, like on page 101. Let's see. So I think his mentor, I need a good Japanese name. Let's go Iko. Or a Japanese sounding name. And I think he is a teacher in the school. And let's see, he gets an advantage related to this teacher. I think this teacher saw something in him and took him under his wing and mentored him and taught him things about being a Beastmaster and how it's more than just being an aggressor and a fighter. And really gave him some mentoring. You know what? I think I'm going to go with keen balance as this advantage. And this is a distinction, I believe. Yes, so this is a distinction. So keen balance, and it keys off Earth. Just like a cat, right? Weird. Here we go. So let's see, keen balance. When moving across treacherous terrain, as long as no one's hindering me, I can't fall. When performing a check, which your balance is a benefit, such as fitness earth, I do have that rank in fitness, cool. Check to... I can reroll up to 2 dice. That's really cool. Awesome. I like that. So now is the part 5. This is personality and behavior. So question 14. What do people notice first upon encountering your character? Within their... I think he has impeccable posture. So it says, additionally, choose one distinctive aesthetic accoutrement that your character carries or wears most of the time. A scarf, hair ornament, engraved scabbard, eye patch, etc. I think he carries a... I think he carries a saffron scarf. Scraff. I can spell. Wow, I can really spell today. There we go. Okay, so question 15. How does your character react to stressful situations? I think he can be, when angry, very acidic, and his words can hurt. He's very honest. He's way too blunt with his adversity, so I think acidic. And I'll make a note here that it's when he's particularly angry. So it says here, as your character's strife approaches their composure, your character might display this behavior, and it could play a part in any time they unmask. So question 16. What are your character's pre-existing relationships with other clans, families, organizations, and traditions? Well, I think that Iko is probably a Matsu, so we'll just fix that in here. So Matsu Iko. And we've already kind of talked about his relationship with his family. His family and him are probably strained because he didn't do what they expected of him to do. He went to a different school. Still within the Lions clan, but it's out of the norm. So therefore he's kind of set himself apart from everything that he was taught growing up. But Matsuiku has taken him under his wing. He is highly respected. So in a weird way, it's probably some kind of cool... Una, what are you doing? My dog's being so weird. Probably doing some things to foster some kind of alliance between the two families. Let's see. So it says here... So I've recorded noteworthy. I'm not going to go too in depth of this just because this is an exercise, and if anyone wants to use this, I'd really encourage you to create your own things with it. But I choose one item of rarity 7 or lower that your character received as a gift from one such group, took in a battle fighting against them, yada yada yada. So I'm going to go down to gear again, and I'll figure this out in a bit. Where is notes? Rarity 7 item. I think this is probably from his parents as a reminder of his heritage. So that kind of covers that. So question 17. How would your parents describe them? Oh, I'm sure they have words. Relationships. Let's just scroll back up here. Parents' strained relationship with parents. Okay, so from this, Additionally, gain 1 rank of 1 skill in which your character has 0 ranks, and determine whether your parents approve of this extracurricular interest or see it as a regrettable deviation, and why. I think because of all of this and the strained relationship, you know what? Let's think here for a minute. I'm going to put it in command. Because he is at this Matsu school, and he's learning to be a warrior and lead armies. But his family is very much about ancestor veneration, and I think they disapprove. They see it as regrettable that he's doing this and not following in their footsteps. Let's see. Who was your... Okay, so now we're on to step 18 out of 20. Who is your character name to honor? When receiving or choosing a name at their coming-of-age ceremony, many samurai adopt a name that honors a recent or particularly noteworthy ancestor. So I have to roll a 10-sided die twice. Consult those numbers on the samurai heritage, which is table 2-1. Oh, here it is. Okay, so... I roll a 10-sided die twice, and I can choose one of the 2 options as the relative for whom your character is named. Then roll a 10-sided... Okay. Wait. I'm confused. Let me reread this. First, roll a 10-sided die twice. Consult those numbers in table 2-1 on the next page to see the entries on 2 potential famous relatives. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I need a die. How do I not have a die? I'm a gamer in my room, and I don't have a single die. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 10.
A random number between 1 and 10 is 7.
Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 10.
A random number between 1 and 10 is 8.
Okay, so 7 and 8. So for 7, one of my ancestors was elevated for service. It says, one of your ancestors was a Jizamurai, or even a commoner who served with such distinction that their position was elevated to that of a great clan samurai by marriage or mandate of the daimyo. As a child, you learn the basics of the skills for which they won their esteem. Or I can go stolen knowledge. One of your ancestors learned a secret of another school and clandestinely passed it down through the ages. Now it has reached you. I kind of like the elevated for service, and I think it ties into his guiding ancestor. I don't really see him as losing more honor. He already has a strained relationship with his family. I don't think having like something he shouldn't have would really help with that. But that said, what do you think? I really can't decide. That's very tough. Both have their options. Let's see. Let's look at, because we're going to have to roll again. So if I do the elevated for service, I'd roll a 10-sided die to determine a trade skill. It would be commerce, labor, seafaring, skullduggery, or survival. That survival, if I could get that, would be really cool. Kind of hope I get a 9 or a 10 if I do that. And I'd get 1 rank, because having survival 3 would be rad. But if I do the stolen knowledge, I know 1 additional technique. Roll a 10-sided die again to determine the category. 1 through 3 would be a kata, 4 to 6 would be a shuji, 7 would be a ritual, 8 would be an invocation, 9 would be a kiho, and 10 would be a maho, or ninjutsu. And then select 1 technique with a prerequisite of school rank 1 and learn that technique. You can perform that technique even if you are not normally allowed by your school. You know, I kind of want to play this. Yeah, I think I kind of want to play up this. This ancestor thing a little bit, and why he's always felt so different from his family. I think I am going to go with the stolen knowledge. So let me just see here where I don't know where that goes, but just looking at the sheet here. Oh, that's cool. It calculated all that for me. That's amazing. And my endurance is 6, my composure is 10. Oh, I'm going a little late today. I apologize, everyone. Thank you for staying with me if you're still here, and if you've had to leave, I totally understand. Okay, so because I'm doing the stolen knowledge, I do decrease my honor by 5. Now, that actually makes sense, because he did go against his family's wishes by going to the Matsu Beastmaster school. Cool with that. So now let's see here. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 10.
A random number between 1 and 10 is 9.
So I know another Kiho, which is kind of cool because I can... Oh, I can't do those, but I do know one. So, where are Kiho? My only restriction is that it has to have a prerequisite school rank of 1 to learn that technique. So, let's just find K. Page 182. Okay, so I can't choose a void Kiho. There's no rank 1s in there. I wonder if there's any new Kihos in the source book. New techniques, 95. Kata, rituals, Suji. Okay, there's not Kiho in there, so I have to stick with the core book. Okay. Let's see, understand what this is. Kiho means key method, or powerful spiritual techniques generally known only to monks. Practitioners activate them by aligning their inner energy ki to specific elements or universal forces. Okay, cool. You can only have one enhancement in effect at a time. So Cleansing Spirit could let me reduce the target number of all my checks to resist poison, disease, the defiled. That's interesting. Oh, that's cool. There's also Earth Needs No Eyes, which lets me, see without seeing. I don't want to do any of the fists. The Great Silence. What's this? Oh, that's for scheming. No. Oh, but it does key off command. What's this say? The monk swirls their hands in a spiral, pulling noise inward and stealing even the reverberations that sounds make through the air. Lies die on the lips unspoken, and prayers never reach the spirits for whom they were intended. Skilled practitioners often maintain this technique, twisting the wind around them to steal away pernicious words and wicked prayers alike. As a scheme and support action, you may activate this keyhole if you make the target number 1 theology air check to create an area of silence around you. I'm not good with air, but I do have theology. That's interesting. If I succeed, I increase the target number of scheme action checks targeting you by 1 plus your ranks in command. That's interesting. Although I don't know if that's right for him because he's so blunt. This seems a little... I don't know. So breaking blow. This is a fire keel. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh, but it's unarmed. I don't have that. Huh, cool. Is anyone still in here? I'm going to just check the chat here while we're taking a small little break. Oh, God, some of y'all are still here. Wow, thank you so much for staying. I appreciate it. Ooh, key protection. The monk touches the injured individual, feeling the flow of their ki and using their own to gently correct its flow. While the monk sustains this ki, their touch continues to heal, though repeating the effort numerous times is quite draining. Let's remove fatigue. No. What's Way of the Sea Foam? Ooh. Way of the Sea Foam. The monk shifts and matches their movements to their surroundings, sliding to their feet and righting themselves like a duck bobbing on the surface of a pond. In this state, the monk can even traverse water, their ki buoying them as if them where they contact the waves. If I succeed on a target TN1 meditation water check, which would be really good for me, it activates. While it's active, I may walk on water if it were solid ground. That's really cool. I think I'm going to take that. It plays into the cat thing in a way, too. Let's see. Way of the Sea Foam. Way of the Sea Foam. Water. Okay, cool. We are almost done, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Where are we? And I'll come up with a name for that ancestor too. I do think it's the one that ancestor that's guiding him somehow taught him this way of the sea foam. I think it's all tied together, and it also means he can't escape his family as much as he wishes he could. What is your character's personal name? Well, I did that first because I wanted to have a name when I started. Haratu. So his name would be Kitsu Haratu of the Lion Clan. And then, so that's 19. Because after you've chosen the name... Oh, wait, 1 second. Oh. After you've chosen the name of your ancestor, the person who granted. Okay, so here, Haratu would be similar to the ancestor's name, so I have to keep that in mind when I figure that out. Cool. So then question 20, our last question is, how should your character die? All proper samurai fully expect to die in the service of their lord, and it is said that every samurai lives at all times 3 feet from death, the length of a katana blade. However, some deaths have more meaning than others, and there are plenty of samurai whose outward facade of courage hides a deep-seated fear of mortality. How would you like your character to end? Will they fulfill their destiny and join their ancestors in Yomi, the realm of the sacred ancestors? Or will their soul be forced to undertake another cycle on the celestial wheel of reincarnation? There's no mechanical implications with this, but your GM will certainly keep it in mind. You know what? I think that Haratu would like to die defending something meaningful. I think he wants to prove that he's done something important and that all of his going against his family actually meant something. So that's something that I'd really like to keep in mind for him. So, thank you so much, guys. I know I went a little over tonight. I really wanted to get this character done. It is a little bit more involved than some of the other ones I've done. But next week, on Monday, there'll be a blog post with this character sheet and some thoughts that I've had about it since doing it. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we are proud members of the D20 Radio Network, and we are partnered with Fool's Moon Entertainment. Links to all of that are in show notes on the podcast on our website. You can find that information. We also have a Patreon, which, if you want to support us, can link there. You can also subscribe to our Twitch stream. I'll be here every Monday. On Thursdays, Griffin does his storyteller's lab that he really likes to do. And every other Friday, we do the Body Electric actual play. Your support is so awesome. We really love doing this, and we're really excited for all the cool things we're doing this new year. So thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.